Okay, let's just start here. I don't hate this. Alright, we're here with Imskir Iron Eater. 8-mana 5/5. Affinity for artifacts. When it enters, you draw X and lose X life, where X is half the number of artifacts you control, round it down. So if you have 6, you draw 3. If you have 7, you draw 3, so on and so forth. Pay 4 mana, sack an artifact. This deals damage to that artifact's mana value to any target. Ideally, you're probably going to throw artifacts at your opponent's face, but I'm not super enthralled with the bottom part of this. It does work. I'm sure there's ways to like throw really expensive artifacts at your opponent's face and do it rather consistently the moment you cast this, because if you have like Portal to Phyrexia and for some reason Portal in play is not good and you want to throw 9 damage at something, it's kind of nice. But this is not the kind of deck that's trying to do a bunch of face damage. So the first chunk of damage, if it's 9 on turn, I don't know, let's say 6 or something, with a bunch of mana rocks, that's kind of cool, but what's going to end up happening is I'm probably going to throw it at a vital creature I have to kill anyways. The first 24 instances of damage you do don't matter. It's all about the last point of damage, and the first giant chunk is not super scary in a non-aggressive Imskir deck. I haven't seen this commander played like this before, and I just sort of bumped into it when I was looking at things to try. I thought I was going to just be forced into the 1, 2, 3 drop creatures, artifact stuff, draw cards, bludgeon my opponent to death, like I always see this commander do. But I thought it would be more interesting to do anything else, because you know me. The less creatures in a deck, the more interested I am in actually playing it. So this deck has, what, 12 creatures? I probably could go down even more. My idea is to Asurarak combo people, so stuff with, what is it, Paradox Engine, Asurarak, and then any sort of, like, artifacts that tap for mana, just bounce this infinitely, and then your opponent dies. It's a lot of clicks, but people are familiar with it, and they might just concede to it. So there's that. There's also the One Ring with Paradox Engine. There's also Turgrid with Paradox Engine, which is kind of interesting. This is annoying to deal with for your opponent, but it isn't annoying for a while, unless I'm presenting a lot of upfront damage. So I'm not really sure about this one. It could matter. It could matter. When you have Paradox Engine, it untaps all the time, and then it becomes very problematic, but you still have to do that, so I don't really know if I like this one that much. It's just something to maybe strive for as just a pseudo combo paradox thing. There's Final Parting with Paradox Engine to Ready, or Paradox Engine and what is it? Trash for Treasure? Yeah, you can reanimate your Paradox Engine this way. So there's quite a few ways to get this card. Just like a Asurarak, you can have all the tutors in the world. I might even want more tutors than I'm running now. Goblin Engineer doesn't reanimate the card in question, but it can put it in the graveyard for your Trash for Treasure or Duretti or something to get. But I don't know if this is that amazing for what exactly I'm trying to do. There's card engine things like this. This is kind of a newer one I see all the time in Imskir now, and just draw a bunch of cards when you play artifacts. It's kind of neat, I suppose. But I think if anything is going to change, it's probably just more tutor effects, so I can consistently get to where I want to be. Just sort of like Rowan, where Rowan discounts all your spells and then you explode and win. This just draws a bunch of upfront cards, and this is the discounted spell itself. So it does act a lot like Rowan in that way, which is kind of, I mean, even in the life loss department, it just acts like Rowan, which is really neat to me. I'm going to need all the help I can get, I feel, because there's probably a reason I've never seen anything like this. So I do have Ragavan in here to, you know, just those early treasures can be extremely powerful and all that jazz. So we'll see what happens. But okay, I forgot to bring up Mox Opal as a card, because it is now in the game. You should play this card if you have it. I'm a filthy free-to-play enjoyer, and I have been since I've started playing this game when it first came out, and this is where I am. It's only getting harder and harder as a free-to-play player to continue keeping up with the, 6 magic sets a year now. It's like borderline impossible to be a free-to-play player. At least maybe in more formats where you have more than one of each card. It's probably just downright impossible to play like 3 decks in any given standard cycle as a free-to-play player, but this is one of the ones I have on my list to craft at some point, and if you have it, it should just be in here, but, well, I don't. Alright, I'm on the play with Ragavan. First game, too. That's kind of cool. Look at that. We did it. It's in there. Don't concede, please. Please. Oh, no. No, please. And then you wonder why I don't play Ragavan. I wanted to play against this. And then you wonder why I don't play it. How am I supposed to make content with this card on turn 1? I don't have a really good big score in this hand, so I don't think I can keep that. 1 land? Well, it's just not viable at all. What are these hands? Oh my goodness. Alright, I guess I get rid of that. What is going on? So, this thing first. Yeah, because it generates actual colored mana, because I don't have any. Opponent chooses to do Stone Cold Nothing. Let's play you. Red, black, that, this. Okay, I don't know why I delineated it so hard with the mana there. This thing, and then that thing. Alright, so we have a ton of mana. And I can actually sack these whenever I want? No, I have to sack them normally. Alright, so we just have a bunch of stuff. I can get Paradox Engine with the Inventor's Fair. Did I have to play a land? I suppose I didn't have to play a land there. Wonder if it was right. This is a very strange card. Also at instant speed. There's no need to do that. It was odd. Yeah, we'll just cast this. I don't even know how much it is. I'm just gonna send it. Okay. So let's cast Cold Steel Heart. No. I should probably do nothing? Yeah, I should probably do nothing. That is... What? Okay. More ramp spells out of Val is very strange. Or at least I feel like it's strange. So Paradox Engine is the take here. I could take the One Ring, actually. Yeah, because it gives me protection from the combo. That actually has merit. Well, I mean, it does for a turn at least. Do that. That. Time Warp is definitely better than the other ones. I know I have the One Ring to draw, but, like, I'm not gonna... Let's do this. I don't take damage. Let's do this on red. Could do it on blue as well, actually. Alright, so I have protection. If they do go for the combo, it just doesn't work. Actually, if they go for the combo, it might force a draw, because There's no stopping the combo? Well, if our commander dies, we get a bajillion more cards, too. But yeah, I think this is a forced... Alright, they just did that. They could have just destroyed my entire artifact arsenal, and they didn't. I don't really know why. Well, the One Ring's indestructible, to be fair, but still, I think I'm blowing up everything except creatures there. That's very strange. I don't know. I'd probably survive if I got to keep... Honestly, I don't really know. So, this draws... Does it tell you how much? Don't make me get 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeesh. Alright. Fortunately, it doesn't really matter how much life I lose that much. Okay, so Mox. We will take this extra turn now. We will cast more mana. I could just actually run this out. Should probably just run that out. Sack the munitions. Love to see it. Play maybe anything that involves not losing more life. So like you. You. And I have an extra turn. I probably shouldn't tap the ring. This is not lethal. I don't think it can be lethal. Let's see, I can... Let's do this. What does this do? Gilded Lotus, that doesn't change anything. Alright, they're over it. So, this is a weird hand. I like weird hands. We're no stranger to weird hands. Can actually get a dual land for the first time with a fetch land. So far I've been just getting basics, which is fine. It's fine. I mean, there's only one, like, interesting one anyways. We do a good job at dodging Ujin as a commander. Championship 27. Wait. Oh, okay. I was like, wasn't I on the play? Makes sense. What did they get rid of? Another land, sure. I don't really need that. Well, they have a castable card. It probably doesn't make sense to cast it. Oh, it says this is true. Let's run out the non-haste one. I don't think they're going to kill this. I could have... No, that doesn't make sense. Cathedral of War. My opponent just has Cathedral of War. That's kind of crazy. That's a Cathedral of War. You got it. Let's play you. You. I wonder if they go for the ultimate, or they're like trying to do something different. Is this an artifact? No? What is the point of that one? Very strange. I'm just so not threatened by this -7. I mean, if I'm not winning by the time it kills me, then I don't think I was going to win anyways. Alright, so they just do this so Tezzeret doesn't die, but Tezzeret just stays alive with less loyalty, so... I don't know. I'm just going to Lightning Bolt it at this point. Especially how they sort of wasted this hanger back. Might as well. Ah yes, the end step bobble. Always nice. Let's do that. And then just pass. I'm just keeping the Ornithopter untapped. Is there anything to reanimate that makes sense? There shouldn't be, no. Yep, look at that. So, very tactical. The old tactical get my wastes on the end step. hold priority through my opponent's entire turn. The last 2 cards have to be artifacts for them to ultimate. Which means no lands. Maybe they're thinking of Cityscape Leveler? It'd be a little weird in Tezzeret, but it's an artifact, I guess. Okay. Meteor Golem, kind of like Cityscape Leveler. I don't really know what required any thinking of those 2 things, but you got it. Opponent felt like they had to think about that. Let's do this. We're currently in a rather lame situation right now. I don't even know what I could possibly draw that matters here. Apparently nothing. Okay. I could have drawn a land to kill their commander. But, I mean, we have to be concerned with this ultimate before that matters. I mean, they have a Darksteel Citadel, I guess. Opponent is taking their sweet time. Oh, right, the Forsaken Monument makes everything larger. Not very ideal at all. How do you not swing? What? How do you not swing there? That doesn't make sense. I'm terribly confused. Okay, so Crucius, get rid of Grief for a more expensive card. Just give me Demon, please. And crack the Mind Stone. Oh, well that just happened. So pass. Get rid of Grief for something that's cheaper. Okay, so I have not enough mana sources to go crazy with Engine. So they can get Expedition Map into Inventor's Fair into something. Alright, they decided to swing now. I feel like they could have just done this last turn, but they didn't. So I want to kill the Meteor Golem. And I can reanimate it. That's a lot of life, though. But it kills the Forsaken Monument. Might not be able to do it, though. Final Parting, does that change anything? So here I should commit this into play right now. I should just do this. We are going to grab this. I don't think I can cast Grim Tutor anymore. I can't swing. Yeah, I don't think I can cast this. So we can just get rid of it. That's a mana rock. We're getting kind of close. We're getting close. This has to kill Crucius. I I can chump block with my commander, and I can recast it. So that's interesting. He's tutoring Soul Ring, yeah. Might not want me to get my Chimera opponent wise to be on their ears. So we can cast this. Let's tap you. Cast this. Can probably get rid of the removal spell with the key card, depending on what the key card is, obviously. Heh, key card. Lol. D-Spark. That doesn't hit anything that matters, so I don't care about that. Neither does Lightning Bolt, really. Actually, Lightning Bolt is fine. Yeah, we can get rid of this. Lightning Bolt just nets me mana. Let's kill that. I don't care about my opponent's commander. So now we're floating 3 mana with Key to the Archive. I mean, a Paradox Engine. It's 3 every time. Okay, they just tapped it for no reason. Any way to hold priority for no reason, my opponent has found it successfully. Quite impressive. So we can do this, get a server rack, and bin... Oh, wait a minute, do I just win? I don't think it matters what the other spell is. It doesn't, right? It goes straight to the graveyard, so we can just bin... the One Ring with the off chance of reanimating it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, win? Okay, how does this work? Don't complete Tomb of Annihilation? Okay. I guess they're done? They're done without conceding, I guess. Alright, there we go. We did it. We did it. My opponent also was holding priority endlessly because the mana they floated for absolutely no reason. There wasn't any cards in their hand or whatever, but just like the, I like calling it LARPing. You know, you're like, ugh, it's like someone who's super into tactical gear when they, like, go airsofting and everyone else is just like, they want to play airsoft, you're doing backflips and stuff. It's like, you're floating mana to just LARP tactics. It's just like, you got tactical gear, you're just LARPing. There's no, just crack the Wayfarer's bubble. It'll save everybody a bunch of time. There's when you have no cards in hand, and your black-red opponent isn't going to interact with your Wayfarer's bauble finding waste, I think it's safe to just crack it and auto-pass, but... Grolnok. Alright. Well, it's a brony. We know how that goes. Yep, it's a brony with a 1-drop that blocks Ragavan, so rip to Ragavan. Still gonna cast it. I suppose I am not going to swing because I can technically draw outs to get Ragavan in there. No, but I should swing because my opponent gets to use that Minister. Yeah, we should swing, absolutely. I don't want them to repeatedly be able to use those. That wouldn't really make a lot of sense. So Creation or Simulacrum? I think I'm going to go with Simulacrum. Creation can get Paradox Engine. The sooner you play it, the better. If they have counter spells, this is something I would obviously not want to get countered. Alright, we'll just cast this. Okay, Paradox Engine it is yet again. What did they mill? Overflowing well, sure. Alright, Army of 1/1s. Candy Trail, what? Cast Darkness? Yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess. That would be funny. They didn't swing with their Psy. That's weird. I don't understand why. I was about to say, I haven't gotten hit by Mana Drain, so that's quite surprising. Okay, so we can do the thing here in a second. I gotta just shift enter. I don't know why it's like hoping I draw a lightning bolt or something. It's not realistic. Alright, they swing this turn. So I can cast Paradox Engine, but it doesn't really do anything. So maybe I'm not casting it. It would be the only thing I have in play. That would be a little weird, I feel. Yeah, let's just warp this. This plays around a counterspell as well. Although I don't think there is one at this point. Would have seen it. They would have essentially have drawn it already. We can crack this now. Because there's plenty of 3-minute cards I can find. That's not one of them. I'm also not just dead or anything. It's not looking good, though. If they ever find Urza, we're kind of screwed. You can still swing at me. Oh, there you go. No, you can swing with the... Okay, they're playing around a burn spell, I guess. Which is fair. I suppose the damage is irrelevant, so you might as well. Like, it's just not going to be a part of this game in any meaningful way. So, that is what we were looking for. To go with our card. Okay, well, they're tapped out. They could technically have Flare, I guess. I think we win now. Because of the... Oh, no, we don't. Oh, no, 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 no. Why did I think we won? Why did I think that? Why am I dumb? Don't listen to me, I'm dumb. Alright, so it's in play. I need them to not River's Rebuke, Cyclonic Rift, Boseiju, Kogla Haste, extra turn spam, combo. I need them to essentially have 6 lands in hand. That's what I'm getting at. I'm going to shift enter. Alright, the frog is a leapin'. The discounts are a flowin'. The talisman is reanimating. All of this is either good or it isn't. Okay. Sure, Still haven't seen any counterspell. Alright, they mill some cards. Okay. They're croaking. Alright, we've played that. Hope of Spaghetti. Edgar. Vidalcan Spaghetti Mage. Oh, come on. They found a Mox. Come on. Come on. You've got to be kidding me. Come on. Let's them keep going. Mill 4 and be done? Please? Mill 4 and be done? Come on! Come on! I can't get anything! I just can't get anything in this game, bro. Okay, the world might not be over. I don't think the world's ending. I can... the one ring to not die for a turn. So, Derevi... Okay, everyone calm down. Nobody freak out. Derevi. This. That. Okay. Things are happening. We can play no land yet. We can play the one ring and win. We did it. We did it. I thought we were screwed, but we're not. Yes! That's nuts. Oh, alright, well... I was getting more and more upset as they did more and more things with less and less mana, but we actually got through it all, which is kind of crazy. Hey, look at that! I actually beat a brony. I actually beat one. Every time someone has a My Little Pony avatar, they just win. I don't know what it is. Maybe Wizards just has a lot of bronies in the office. Probably. So they just give them, like, deck shuffling advantage. Alright, looks like they have a discard spell, though. They're gonna probably take the removal spell, leave me with the oh, wait, what's this? Now it could be a ramp spell. Wait, what? Okay, so they cast their commander turn 1, but that doesn't quite work without specifically reanimate victimize. Which would make this one of the most insane opening hands I've ever seen in my life. Sure. Seems pretty obvious. There you go. That doesn't do anything, so dead this turn if they have it. It has to be Zombify now. Oh, silly me. My opponent just has Phyrexian Tower. Excellent. Alright, well, that was the most insane stick fingers opener I've ever seen in my life. Speaking of no removal, this is really weird. It has the ring, though. It doesn't take much off the top for this hand to be good. Well... guess I'll just stop everything so I don't lose the game. I could have cast Ornithopter into something else, but that doesn't... Alright, looks like I wasn't stopping it anyways. Excellent. Let's play this one. Like, if I take a turn off, it's not... If my opponent casts a Cultivate effect on turn 2, the game's over. I'm not winning that. Okay, fortunately, the Space Sliver doubling is not that scary. So let's cast... Key? Or... Yeah, no, we should cast those. This is an important hit. Alright, well that's kind of unfortunate. Let's get rid of the Mana Dork. Putrefy, unfortunately. Something I should keep here. 3 lands in play that only tap for 1 color. And that's just a Leeching Sliver. Okay. That is interesting. Don't think I'm ready to play the One Ring. Let's do this. And pass. Kind of a letdown, but so be it. 1, 2, 3. Ward 2. So I can pay for Ward 2. Okay. Blur Sliver. That was spooky. They found the 5th mana as well. Leeching Sliver gets around the One Ring as well, if that matters. Alright, Damnation's pretty nice. Not gonna lie to you. Let's play the One Ring. Can sack the One Ring whenever I want. Should probably draw right now. There are actual good hits. That's one of them. A little light on the red, but I'm not going to shock myself, so pick up that. Alright, we take 3. We ideally don't lose to something that's... Why is it... Oh, come on, I don't have Flare. Okay, that's fine. That's what I was thinking about. I don't really care about that. It just effectively draws a card. Sort of, I mean... Not even like 1-to-1. Let's draw with this. Should probably play this before I cannot play it. Alright. That's about as good as I can ask for from this 5/5 in this game. Probably tap the ring and then sack it, because I can't really tap it again. Although I do have Paradox Engine under Inventor's Fair, so that's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Indestructible Slivers. I can take Roaming Throne with this. That's maybe a little weird, though. Alright, we're gonna play this. And then I'm gonna play this. And I'm going to do the first chapter. Take my opponent's Spiteful Sliver, that's funny. And we're going to pass. And probably just straight up block. They can't do that and the Sliver, right? Yep, they can't have both. Kind of surprising. Okay, well they drew 2 Slivers in a row. Oh, excuse me, they drew 3 creatures in a row with their Bloom Tender. Suppose that tracks. I should keep the cut down in my hand. I don't think killing Bloom Tender matters. And this could trigger Paradox Engine. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not likely to lose more life than that, so we should draw. So I think we win. Play a land that doesn't kill me before I accidentally do. And then we can just tap into Oblivion. Oh, or that. That can also just happen. That's also a thing that could just happen. I could just draw that. Alright, let's just play one more Mana Rock, and then I'll just start hitting the double Q to cast a Surarack over and over. Pick it up. Do this one. Yeah, we'll do the middle one. Oh, my opponent's upset. Oh no. Oh, your slivers didn't get there, opponent? What's wrong? You got so close. So this is kind of like a stick finger, except it isn't. I really wish I had some kind of graveyard hate, but, well, it being good every 2.5 hours is probably not a good idea. This is fine. Oh, is this fine? It's fine enough. The remove... I don't know. We'll see what happens. Alright, good first turn there. No 1 into 3 shenanigans. Let's get this into play to remove something. This early, I could bin... no, this early we should probably bin something that's castable. Celestius? Arcane Signet? Is it castable or is it just reanimate? Alright, it just reanimates it. So we can grab Relic. I could have actually maybe even grabbed Celestius to then, like, loot it this... Well, I still have to find a way to make that work. Alright, well, everything's on hold again because I have to kill the stupid halfling. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on. So I can play this. Do that. Ugh. It's so ugly. Alright. I can't let them untap of this. This is better than anything else I've done in this game, so I just have to kill it. I just have to kill that card. Let's not kid ourselves. That one, slightly less concerning. So, here, reanimate Relic with this thing. That. Alright, we did stuff. Look at that. It did something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Black Market Bitter Triumph. I don't have to final parting next turn. That's just straight up the black space land. Alright, they blow up my Power Stone, which is something I can actually reanimate. Oh boy, more mana. No way. Let's play you. Let's actually do that. And then pass? Well, that was my opponent's top deck. I'm going to make the attempt to disrupt their game plan. Maybe the floating mana, like they needed an additional mana to do something. Nope. So, Commander, maybe? Matter? Might not make it here. I mean, they don't have busted graveyard stuff going on. So maybe we still make it? I don't know. It's not looking too good, though. Final parting, 1, 2, 3, 5. 5. 9. 10. That. And then nothing. So I'd fizzle. Okay. Of all the things to kill, I'm not sure I'm killing that one. Well, maybe I am currently, just given my, like, current cards and stuff. Yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense. I think I'm just kind of interested in killing the artifacts, because this just, like, perpetually discounts itself. Treasure, I can't draw anymore. And then recast it? Or do I cast this for Paradox Engine and something in the graveyard for my... Oh, that's not even a good thing in the to put in the graveyard, I guess that. So I can reanimate that. Alright. I can't tap the Mirror Convert, so I might as well sack it. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is kind of a crazy game to win. If that is in fact what's happening. I can't cast my commander. So... You... Oh shoot. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing actually. So we cast... Black, red, that. Leave up the Inventor's Fair. Okay. Get that one. Our Braid's irrelevant. Let's cast... Blue? Wait, green? Blue. Oh, this is nuts. Oh my goodness. Okay, there. No way. Black. Oh my goodness. Okay, alright, alright, alright. Oh, wait a minute. Did I make a mistake? I might have made a mistake. I don't know. One ring. Get in there. I will tap it. What? Oh no. Oh no. Alright, well, I win. I can also tap the One Ring and draw as well. Wow, that's disgusting. I might want to draw just to find a better way to win. I can also start being faster. Yeah, we could probably draw with the One Ring and win with other cards. Like, I can just look for a server rack through all of this. Yeah. Alright. That was a really good draw, huh? That was a really good draw. Now, if I didn't draw that, I still have protection for a turn cycle, so I should be just safe to chill and pass the turn back. But yeah, that just lets me do it immediately. As long as you're, continuously playing things, you're not going to see the rope like that. So it's kind of hard to do this with, like, mobile or whatever. But on the computer, I mean, you just blast. Yeah, really, really nice. So if I did draw with the ring continuously, I did have a way to sack the ring with the reanimate thing and Duretti. They both could have sacked this, so I won't die to it. Actually, because of those cards, I should have been tapping this earlier. So I'm just drawing to a server rack and winning. And also just flooding my hand with at least 7 cards that would pass the turn and auto win. So it's basically over. I can go infinite with this right now and kill them. I can draw infinitely and find 7 perfect cards that make it so they just can't do anything next turn if I had to pass, and lose this so I don't die to it. I can just look for a server rack and win that way. Yeah, we just had it. I wouldn't even say this deck is as bad as I've been representing it. I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. My opponent has Forsaken Monument and steals my turn, and I have the only card that makes me lose. Like, I don't know. I'm doing my best. Rakdos Signet, I guess, has text on it. I do not expect Spell Pierce. Actually, I don't really know what to expect. I guess some kind of card draw spell. I have not played Fable the Mirror Breaker yet. Oddly enough. This into Engineer? take action, I'll put Power Stone in the graveyard, because it's a nice thing to reanimate with the Mind Stone or something. Why are there just... Come here. There we go. Had a little ant crawling up the wall there. Trapped it in a little bottle. Alright, so we have that, this getting Signet gone. And then Fatal Push? Okay, it just worked. And we pass. I'm not going to blow up the Mox Amber or anything like that. Fairy Spaghetti Mind. Does that matter? I think so. I'm interested in killing it. There might not be a lot of creatures in this deck, and it could just be a good idea to not have them stick one of the really good ones. And that one is really good against my commander, so... I have a bunch of mana, and I survive mana drain here. I haven't seen a mana drain today, so I am overdue for a mana drain. Though they haven't left up mana in another point in the game where they could have mana drained, so might not have it. Might not have anything. It could just be Demolition Field. Okay, that is the case. Can sack the... No, that doesn't make sense. I'm okay with swinging. Although I don't really... Yeah, let's just swing. I'm not very likely to have that do anything. Yeah, let's just swing with it. I can start sacking treasures for, like, signets and stuff. I can loot the Mind Stone repeatedly with treasure tokens. Alright, they're just over it. No counter spells. That's kind of weird. Okay, so this is pretty reliable at getting to the combo. There's a lot of ways to tutor for it and whatnot, so you can pretty reasonably do this. I did have a lot of clunky hands, or I shouldn't say a lot, but I had a notable amount of kind of clunky hands. And all the mana rocks ramping into my commander, which is also discounted by the mana rock itself, is... It means I can really just cast my commander whenever I want, and you can kind of spam it. I never had a situation where I was spamming it. Sweepers let me kind of ignore my opponent a bit more than I was already, but I'm not sure. If I try this commander again, I would like to do what I see everyone else ever do, which is 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana creature, and then you just cast this, and you're just applying a bunch of pressure with a bunch of creatures and all that jazz, and just Rakdos beatdowns. There's 55 commanders that just do the Rakdos beatdown thing. I don't think this one is particularly standoutish. You have to play significantly weaker creatures for this to get discounted in a Rakdos beatdown thing, as opposed to the other Rakdos beatdown commanders, of which, again, there's like 10 that can play much more powerful creatures that don't need to be artifacts for this to, you know, your command zone not matter as much. But I will say there were a significantly above average games that I played where my opponent had the most amazing thing of all time. There was a couple games that it was a straight up 1 in 250 kind of outcome if you just take into the like the odds of my opponent having the two exact cards they needed, and I needed to not have one of my like 5 or 10 answers to it or what. Like, there were a lot of those really, really unlikely scenarios today. A lot of extremely good hands out of my opponents. There was, I think, 3 games today. No, it might have just been 2, where it was Gemstone Caverns on the draw for the opponent into Ancient Tomb, and then a 3-drop that just cascaded into winning, whereas my little Swamp Drix Interlacer just stared at it and died. So that happened disproportionately today, I will say. Mono green in general, like Azusa, and thus by extension, I suppose, Rofellos, is going to be a problem for this, and because of that, I guess I just can't really recommend this as a strategy in Historic Brawl currently. If you're going to play this, it's, again, probably going to be the more Rakdos beatdown thing or whatever. Because your opponents are, the green ones in particular, are so explosive that your removal and really even your board wipes don't stop your Azusa player. They kind of slow down Rofellos, but with that slowing downness, it's not like they're not playing lands and are going to just cast 6-drops eventually anyways. And eventually, you're not going to be able to answer all of them. And if you haven't won by then, you might be screwed. Every single Rofellos player I played today had cast it like 3 or 4 times back to back, and I kept killing it, and it didn't matter because after the 3rd time it dies, and my opponent's just going to play land, have 7 mana, and then do whatever they want, and they don't need Rofellos anymore. And I bought a bunch of time, but that time was spent tapping out, killing Rofellos, right? And even if it wasn't, let's say I could kill it with, you know, Arcane Signet came with a shock or something insane, and I kept doing that. Us having 7 mana doesn't guarantee that my 5 mana bomb or whatever just makes my opponent like nervous. They can just continue to cast giant green things, and I have to spend time setting up the combo, and it's just not fast enough really compared to a lot of things my opponent, like if there was I think 2 Koglas, maybe it just was 1, but if they have Kogla and I don't kill it, they're just going to swing and naturalize me, and I killed Rofellos 3 times, so they didn't play Kogla earlier, but now Kogla is in play and I don't have answers for it, so maybe the best idea is to just ignore it, like Rofellos specifically, just sort of like you might ignore Azusa. I think Azusa is just better than Rofellos because it's harder to interact with Azusa, and it can still be played on turn 2 basically every single game. So, I don't really know, but yeah, so the green matchups are a bit rough. I did not actually see any mana drains today, thank goodness. If there were mana drains, it would be really unfortunate, but to be fair, we've had vastly more unlikely scenarios that have defeated us other than my opponent just happening to have one of their cards in their hand, just a 2-mana counterspell that mana drains me. If you're like Worn Power Stone on turn 2 or mostly really just turn 3 with a deck like this, if this gets hit by mana drain, you just kind of lose, like full stop. They don't even really need to use all the mana drain mana for you to just kind of lose, right? So against blue, we're not looking too good. We are significantly more vulnerable to counterspells, I feel, than the average deck is. This is actually very vulnerable to counterspells. But again, I didn't really see any counterspells today. If it was a wall of counters, I guess I would start to change this and run discard spells. We actually had what was it? There were 2 scenarios. There was a Gitrog monster player who I just had, I had everything set up, and then they top-decked Ice Steel Explorer with Azusa in play, and they also had the Lotus Cobra. So they went from having nothing to instantly winning the game off the top of their deck with Ice Steel Explorer. Because they were gonna pass, and I was gonna cast Damnation with their old board in play, but then it was like, boom, top deck, Ice Steel Explorer, I win. And then there was another player who was, what was it? The Stick Fingers had Gemstone, Ancient Tomb, Dark Ritual, Chrome Mox, discard spell for the removal, reanimate. Like, they had that was it, right? What are you going to do against that? Except to have a second removal spell, which I technically could have still had. So I had insane outcomes from opponents. They've had like the hottest of draws, the 1 in 200 game, right? You have like the perfect 7 cards in your opening to win on turn 3, essentially. So that was that. There was a Val player with like 16 reanimate spells. Like I just couldn't keep casting them. They had 1 tutor, and then the rest of their hand was just reanimate spells. There wasn't like a second dead tutor for the you know, their combo piece in the graveyard. It was just like all reanimate spells. So that kind of thing just happened extremely disproportionately, and I must recognize that. So when I assess this, it just performed worse than I think it is. I can only do so much against it, right? I mean, I can't play for 24 hours straight until I get an average outcome of expected gameplay. It's just going to happen sometimes. So I would say this is slightly better than I was able to represent it, but still not by a significant margin. Gummed up boards where your opponent isn't killing you really quickly and they're not just, I guess, a Val combo or something. You have a pretty good chance at winning, right? If they're just doing something like, what is it, that really just anything like the Obzon land, the Necro Bloom, let's say. If you're playing against the Necro Bloom and they're just doing their thing, you're eventually going to find Paradox Engine with all your tutors and draws and stuff, and reanimate and artifact reanimate stuff, and just get there with the One Ring or whatever, so or Surarak or whatever. Like, you're gonna get there. You're not nearly as fast as Val is, and Val gets to play the best color in the format, which is green. So you are at a disadvantage if you're really trying to combo against the premier combo strategy in the format currently. Wizards hasn't shown any interest at all in nerfing or changing or banning the combo, even though Val is a digital card. They can just change the text on it however they want, so maybe it just doesn't combo or whatever. But they're not doing that, so it makes me believe that they think Val is just sort of the baseline of where combo should be, right? Like, oh, combo is at this pace with this much consistency and that much resilience, so that's where you should expect your combo deck to be baseline. If that's the new baseline for the pace and consistency of combo in the format, then this is just putting yourself at a disadvantage for kind of trying to do the same thing without actually any of the combo pieces being in your command zone, which is a huge part of it, right? I do like the card advantage on this, though, but it pales in comparison to Green Sun Zenith with Soul Warden in play winning on turn 3, right? That's just not remotely the same. You could probably play more removal, so you don't lose to that as consistently or something. The big score, Unexpected Windfall, could be more removal. Slightly more card draw might have been okay. I did feel like I was kind of drowning in a little bit too much mana, so there's the potential to play something large like, I don't even know, Eldrazi is something you could maybe think about. Like, there's ideas here. You could play Crabomination and just spin, gamble, and hope you hit the combo piece in your opponent's Val deck and exile it forever. You could probably play Graveyard Hate like Relic. They do discount this, and they do exile the Val combo piece once you have killed it, so they can't go for it ever again, if that's something you're interested in doing, and other graveyard-based strategies. But Graveyard Hate, for the sake of Graveyard Hate in this format, is not really that great, and I don't think that's changed recently. It might change, you know. I think I brought this up recently, you know. One day, Graveyard Hate could be crucial, but currently I just don't think it is. But with a deck like this, commander like this, you could probably play Relic Ghost Vacuum, just because they discount and essentially replace themselves, sort of, with your commander's text box, kind of. So you could go that route. But all in all, it's just not a great strategy. If you want a combo, if you just play the Val thing at this point, again, you have green, which is the best color. You don't have to deal with any nonsense. Or you could just play the Rakdos beatdown version, which, again, if I do go to play this again, is probably what I would do. And I'll have to make sure I upload this list with Mox Opal, because that card should be in this deck at all times. Again, I just don't own it. Don't know what I would take out. Probably one of the redundant mana rocks. It really doesn't matter. But yep, that's it. So let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.